very appreciative of the Johnson Campbell Folk School for hosting a Veterans Roundtable. It's great that the folk school is honoring veterans, and we'll talk more about how they're doing that and have more discussion on that topic. So what I wanted to do was go through and introduce each panel member, and each panel member will give you a little bit of back history about their military history, so you can get a better idea of what they did and where they were and how long they served. So here's the panel members. You can see we have 1 Marine, 2 Navy, and 1 Army person. And the first person we're and this is what they're going to talk about. And you get that right there. Okay. And MOS is military occupational skills, so it's whatever job you had. Some people, like Alan, had many jobs. And so hopefully we can get a better understanding of their history and a little bit about what they enjoyed about the military.
And what's ETS?
ETS is end term of service.
End term of service, okay.
So that's when you get out, if
you're in for a particular term. Okay.
So
Okay.
Yeah, I think it's before retirement, right?
Yeah, ETS is before.
Oh, okay. Anything before retirement age.
Right.
Okay.
But thank you for asking that. So here's
Wow,
David,
there's
right?
David.
Look at him.
Yeah, that was my wedding day, actually.
Aww.
Last year I was in. So I was in the Marines for 4 years. I went in August of '93. I was a truck driver and a refueler, and I started at Camp Lejeune and went through school and training there. Oh, I actually went to Parris Island, South Carolina for my boot camp, and then Camp Lejeune for my schooling. And I asked, they gave you a choice. They give you 3 choices, where you want to go. And I said Hawaii, Hawaii, and Hawaii. And they sent me to California. So I was in California for most of my time, and I did 2 tours. Well, not tours, but 2 separate operations where I went to the Persian Gulf and unloaded ships with vehicles and stuff on it. Let's see. Worked on the flight line at Pendleton for the last 2 years. So that was pretty fun. But my best memories was driving a dump truck. And I liked, one of the reasons is if you get it just right when you have like a load of dirt or something, you can pull the back up and open the back of it up a little bit and just spread the dirt. I don't know why I thought that was so cool.
It's really satisfying.
Yeah. So.
Wow. Didn't take much, did it?
Yeah. I had a good time. I also want to thank the folk school for doing things like this. It's pretty cool and recognizing. The best memory is my friends I made when I was in the Marines.
Yeah. And when did you ETS?
I got out in '97, so I did 4 years.
Okay. Awesome.
My gunnery sergeant said, I got out as a corporal, which I should have been a sergeant, but my gunnery sergeant said, Corporal Wright, you're going to make one hell of a civilian. So that sort of sums up my military career.
Got it.
I was ready to get
Made
out,
it
but
all
I'm
this
glad I served, and
So are we.
yeah.
Thank you. Yeah. Okay, Skip, you ready?
Yeah.
Look at that.
Woo!
Wow.
What's that behind you? Is that ammo?
That's 500-pound bombs.
Oh, yeah. Mm-hmm.
That's Desert Shield before the storm.
Yeah.
I started off as a Navy photographer, and that's what I did the whole 24 years.
Photography.
And went from soup and film and dark rooms to transitioning photo lab to digital. That's, like I said, 24 years. And I don't know what to say other than that I did a tour in an air squadron. Most of my career was with Combat Camera, which is a unit photographers go out with. I was in the Desert Shield and Storm. I was part of a joint combat camera unit. And I've been to 54 countries and done quite a lot of different things. Wherever a picture needs to be taken, that's where they send us. The photo lab that I started off in my career was the same photo lab I retired out of 24 years later.
And for those who don't know, joint can either mean multi services, you know, so you can be,
Okay.
or international, so you could be attached to like a British or something like that, or they could be attached to you. But and that's very common nowadays.
Well, in Desert Shield and Storm, that's what it was combined all 4 services. And I was a chief petty officer at the time, which is an E7. And I had 16 Navy photographers and I can remember 22 Army photographers that my job was to go set up stuff for them to operate out of and then dole them out to the different units. So when that ground war started, and I did that, and there was 2 Air Force photographers and me and another Navy guy that his name was Joe. He and I were just going to go gather film and bring it back as it was being shot. And then we got orders that they jointed or had the British 1st Armored Division joined with 18th Airborne Corps, and they wanted documentation of that. So 2 Navy sailors went into the ground war with the British 1st Armored Division, 2nd Battalion, of Royal Scotch Dragoon Guards. And that's what I went to war with. And there was two emotions. We were all mad because we had to be there, and now all that build up, and then we were mad because it was over so quick. But it was a great experience, and like this gentleman here is all the friends that I made. I still Facebook, and we get together and camp out and do things like that. So it was the friends that I made.
What month and year did you retire?
January 1999, end of the month. And I went in 75, I think.
Awesome.
Can we
Okay.
ask questions?
I guess, yeah. Shoot.
So if one of your pictures was to ever become famous, which one would it be?
The biography of General Schwarzkopf, the book, there's a picture of him sitting under a tent in a chair with the King of Saudi Arabia. I took that picture.
You took that picture?
Wow.
Do you have a frame somewhere?
No, because all that stuff goes to the Pentagon.
It's all owned by that.
It's listed as U.S. Navy photograph. And in some cases, if it's an unclassified thing, it's got your name and rank in it. That's good. Sure, I wouldn't be a millionaire if I would have gotten some royalties.
You wouldn't be sleeping in a tent at the campground, that's for sure.
That's true. I think I picked the worst 2 weeks to camp out here in North Carolina.
Okay, Alan.
Back in
Alright,
your
so-
flare jeans there.
Yeah, there's a lot of memories in those jeans. My daughter actually asked me if she could have a pair of them, so they're back in style. That's me circa August of 1990. So at one point in time I was slim, and I didn't have facial hair. That's the day after I graduated from boot camp. So I was in the Navy for 22 years. I held a variety of jobs, I did a variety of things, from shipboard firefighting to instructor to, I got notes here. So, to engineering plant propulsion supervisor on 4 different classes of ships. So diesel, steam, gas turbine, and I got to spend about 91 days working on a not a nuclear submarine, but a nuclear CG, which was the worst 90 days of my life. So those things leak. They leak bad. I got zoomed. I retired as a chief, 22 years. I actually made chief in 8 years, and then stayed a chief the remainder of my career. I got out in August of 2012. My favorite job that I did was shipboard inspection team, also known as InServ. I was attached to the in-service team for almost 3 years. Got to go all over the world with that team because they do in-serves when it's due, regardless of where the ship is at. You fly to it and go do it. It's kind of like an IRS audit with less nice people, is the way I can describe it. And you are going to fail. You're not going to pass.
We didn't like those guys.
I got assigned to that as a fluke. There was a guy that was on that team that needed somebody with salvage experience. Three of the ships I'd been on were salvage ships. And to be on that team, you had to be an engineering officer of the watch on that class of ship to inspect the engineering spaces. So I had my engineering officer of the watch letter for all 3 of those ships. So they called me up and they assigned me to that job. I do participate in a couple of veterans groups.
Oh, we're not there yet.
Oh, we're not there yet?
No.
Well, I'm just going down the list.
Yeah.
You gave me a list.
We're stopping at G.
Oh, well, I didn't see that. It's too far away. But anyway, at the end of it, I would say, like everybody else, I have people that I keep in contact with that I've known since I graduated boot camp. And I still talk to them to this day. I don't use social media, so if I want to talk to somebody, I pick up the phone and call or go knock on their door.
It's so personal.
Well,
You said you were chief. What was your rating?
I started out as a boiler tech, and then I became a damage controlman.
Okay.
And that's how I made chief so quick. I got into it right as the rate opened up,
Yep.
and a bunch of us flooded in when the boiler tech rate went away, and it locked it down, pissed a bunch of people off.
Okay, now I'll take the floor.
I can't see you up there. You're camouflage.
I look like a Christmas tree. That's me. I joined the Army. I actually enlisted in the Army in November 16th of 1983, and had many reasons why I did it. So I was enlisted for 3 years, and then decided to go to college and then go through ROTC and become an officer. So my MOS as enlisted was a topographic surveyor, which does not exist anymore. But basically, they surveyed. If you look at a military map with all the grid lines, we do those surveys. We survey because every grid line you have to verify that with a survey to say, okay, on this map, it's this high from here to here, so you have to do all that. And so it's since a lot of the maps or most of the maps are already done, we did a lot of verification. We just had to go out to like airfields and make sure that there is a survey point. Usually it's a brass thing. You've probably seen it before, but they're all over the place, and that point is known, and so you had to go and survey off of those and verify. Anyway, so I did that as enlisted. Then when I became an officer, I became an engineer officer when I got commissioned. And my first job was as a combat engineer, so I was also in Desert Storm as a lieutenant with a platoon. And then after Desert Storm, I became just a general engineer officer. And then later in my career, I became a facilities engineer officer, and so that became my specialty, probably for the last 15 years in service. And so one of my, so I was in for 34 years. I retired in March of 2017, and my favorite job was as the director of public works at Campbell in Cutter. It was a very similar job to what I do now, being responsible for facilities and utilities, and it's just, it's great if you have a good team, and it's just, it's a very enjoyable job. A lot of construction management, and so I really enjoyed it, so I'm really loving the job I have now with the folk school. Okay, so I wanted to recognize any veterans who are present. I know you.
Oh, okay.
So,
yeah.
so for the group, please introduce yourself.
Well, my name is Greg Maxey, and I'm a Navy veteran, submarine force.
Wow.
I joined as an enlisted person in 1977, was commissioned in 1988, and retired in 2007.
Oh, wow.
Wow, thank you.
Mhm.
And your husband's a
My
veteran.
husband is Marine Corps, Vietnam. He was enlisted in 1970, was there till 74. He was in the Northern I Corps of Vietnam, he had 23 combat missions. He, when he came back from Vietnam, he was Sergeant of the Guard at Camp Pendleton in California, and that's where he left the Marine Corps at that time. He's now a disabled veteran with PTSD, diabetes due to PTSD, with peripheral neuropathy, both arms and legs, and retinopathy, which is a bleed in the eye. And he has spent a lot of time counseling. He is not a counselor, but he spent a lot of time counseling guys, especially the Vietnam era guys, because a lot of the American Legion people are still Vietnam guys. He spent a lot of time counseling veterans, and that's why I came here today to hear, because anything I can take back to him, then he can, he can pinpoint with the men that he counsels with.
Yeah, that's awesome. And please express our thanks for his service.
Thank you.
It'd be an honor to meet him someday if you could make it here. You know, you live where?
I'm sorry.
Where do you live?
I live in Catawba, Kentucky,
Oh,
Okay.
far western Kentucky, down
Okay.
close to Paducah.
Oh, okay. I know this. Anyone else? No? Okay. Okay, so we're going to go through some prompts here. So we'll discuss. You can discuss. So the first one is: are you involved or participate in any veterans organizations? This is the one Alan's already trying to answer. In your community, if so, how does that membership help you as a vet? And if you're not involved, why not? Alan, since you started.
I am a life member of the VFW, but I haven't found them to be very helpful, especially around this area. My experience with the VFW in Norfolk was much better, so I think it just has to deal with more with the involvement of the community and how they're perceived from the community. And I'm also a member of the Iraq and Afghanistan Veterans Organization.
say that one again?
Iraq and Afghanistan Veterans Organization.
Veterans.
Can't have trouble hearing.
Sorry. I can talk louder, but I usually get in trouble when I talk loud.
Yeah.
Here you can.
This would be the room to do it in.
Yeah.
I'm married to Marie, you can talk about it.
So, my experience with the VFW locally has not been very good. And then I'm also a member of the Iraq and Afghanistan Veterans Association. So.
Anyone else?
I'd like to say that I've been here in Murphy for 5 years, and I would be open to getting up with, some veterans and doing something. I'm not sure what they do, but I would be interested in, something like that.
Yeah. That was just good.
One of the first rules I learned in the Navy was don't volunteer for anything.
I think it's all services.
So I'm not really a joiner. I've joined a couple of associations after I retired the Navy that had nothing to do with the military, but the impression I get from VFWs and American, the other one I can't remember. Legion, is you gather together, and I'm sure they do a lot of charitable things, but it's more of a party, barbecues and things like that.
Drink beer and play bingo.
Right, and that's not interesting to me.
Yeah.
If I was to be part of an organization, I'd join the USO, because I've traveled many places and gone through airports, and the USO has really helped out.
Yeah. A lot of major airports have, a USO has like a lounge, so people can, is it for all vets or just for retirees?
No, all vets.
All vets, okay. So you can go there, show your proof that your association, you can go there, and so it's like a private lounge that you can go to. The one in Atlanta, I don't like because it's on this side of security, so once you get on the other side and start thinking about it, you're already past
Yeah.
it.
The one in Dallas is on inside security, so you can go in there, and I've spent many a night sleeping in there waiting for my layover. It's great because you can get something to eat, you can get a cup of coffee. So I agree, USO does a lot more than what I think the other ones do.
Is there not a DAV in the area?
There is a DAV chapter here, but
What is DAV?
Disabled American Veterans.
Oh.
There is a DAV chapter here, but like a lot of the other chapters, I think they took a hit when they had a lot of transient people here. People would go to Florida and they come back, and so they really aren't able to hold an establishment here. So I did talk to the guy that claimed he was the DAV commander, but I could never get back up with him again.
So one of my reasons why I don't participate in anything, although I am a DAV lifetime member, I don't know why, because it doesn't do anything for me. But the reason why I'm not involved in VFW or anything like that, I always got the impression it was a time for guys to get together, or gals too, and it's kind of like a bar, but also then you see them in parades, and it just seemed like a bunch of people who couldn't let go. They like trying to hold on to that, the glory days, and marching in a parade is not my thing. So.
And we're Navy, we don't march.
Yeah, told me that. I was an officer, I don't march.
Was it Legion here? Because American Legion, from what I have seen, not VFW is party time. I guess that's a universal thing.
Yeah.
But the Legion tends to be more supportive of their guys and do more work with
The
the
closer you
community.
get to Atlanta, the Legion's more entrenched. But the further you get up this way, it seems like they're not as active. The Legion for a long time had the flag drop box downtown, and then the Marine Corps Association took it over because the Legion never picked it up. Then those guys disappeared, and now I don't even know who picks it up.
I said those Marines.
Because again, it's one of those things. I think a lot of it has to do with the transient nature of the area for a long time. Now there's more people that are staying here, but because it was a second home location for a lot of people.
Yeah, I understand that, we are too.
Yeah.
And by the way, just so everybody understands, Navy means never again volunteer yourself.
Okay. How about you?
Well, I'm like the rest of you guys. I participated at the American Legion in Hayesville, and I think it's a good group. They were doing a lot of things, but most of the members were 3-year guys, 5-year guys, 6-year guys. And to your point, I was a 30-year guy and as commander, and sitting there and watching 70 and 80-year-old men salute each other. Not for me.
Yeah.
I'm done with that.
Yeah.
But the organization itself, I went to 3 or 4 meetings, and from what I could gather, they did have they were I think to what your point,
Yeah.
they were supportive. It wasn't drinking, I mean, it was more of a,
They had organized meetings.
yeah, they had an organized, now they might have had drinking meetings sometimes, but the four I went to were organized meetings where, you know, they read the minutes, they saluted, they made reports, what are we doing next, what happened last month, and, I mean, it was a good organization, it just wasn't for me.
Yeah, okay. Okay, the next question is, how are you involved with the folk school? I'll answer mine first. I work here, so, and so that's my major involvement. I do take classes, but,
Still chief facilities engineer officer.
So what do you do here, Joe?
I run the maintenance and grounds here.
He's still hanging on to his job.
Yeah.
Let's see, I worked in the housekeeping for a year here at the folk school. And when I moved here, I didn't even know the folk school was a thing. So it was awesome. And then I liked art and music, and I just felt like these were my kind of people. So I try to get back over here every time I can, anytime I can. So that's why I'm here today, I guess.
You played in our jams.
Yeah,
and-
play
yeah.
play a lot of music around here, and the Crown. I like going over there. It's a really good community for that. So I'm gonna keep doing it.
Alan?
I work for Joe. He tries to direct me to make his coffee in the morning.
I think it's guilty. It's not working. I'm on the maintenance team here.
My experience with the folk school actually started. My wife, when she was in Texas teaching at a Montessori school called Country Day, had a connection to the folk school. And this is in the 90s. And when we decided to move here, that was one of